वारी जाऊं मैं सतगुरु के, किया मेरा भरम सब दूर। हुआ प्रकाश आस गई दूजी, हुआ प्रकाश आस गई दूजी। उगिया निर्मल नूर, हुआ प्रकाश आस गई दूजी। उगिया निर्मल नूर, उगिया निर्मल नूर।
What is reflection? Should be positive or negative? Or you should take it from the negative?
When you look at the mirror, do you want to see something positive or negative, or do you just want to see yourself as you are? What if the mirror is a trained mirror, a programmed mirror? It keeps you showing a face of yours that is convenient in confirming with your programming, but not real. Nice to look at, but not real. Would you want to have such a mirror? You would. Till you find that it has a lot of problems associated with it. It makes you live in a make-believe world. You start thinking of yourself as something that you are not. And then you won't like that mirror. A very positive mirror though. Equally, if there is a mirror that keeps you showing you, that keeps showing you a devilish face, you have just woken up in the morning, the face has no distortions, the face has the innocence of sunrise, and sleepily you look at the mirror and you shriek and you faint. Would you want to keep such a mirror in your bedroom? What kind of mirrors do we need? We need a method. We need an environment. We need someone. And we need an eye that sees things as they are, that sees the self as it is. We do not know ourselves as we really are. We have images, and the purpose of every image is to hide the fact. Otherwise, the image does not need to exist. So that's what reflection writing is. Looking at yourself as you really are. Basic inner honesty. I won't hide anything. A feeling arises, I'll acknowledge it. There is confusion, I won't conceal it. There is clarity, I'll express the gratitude. there is fear, I won't act courageous. That's what reflection writing is. Being honest with
What it is.
oneself.
Once.
How are things going with me? That's why a mirror is so precious. Because it has nothing of itself, so it is a useful device to show you clearly how you really are. And if you aren't what your fundamental nature wants you to be, then you will not like what you see. That is the whole thing about seeing. Of course, reflection and seeing are so clearly connected. Once you can see how things are, there arises an urge within to not to support that which is distorted or artificial or unnecessary. You can describe, for example, a passionate intention. In the moment of your intense fever, deep desire, and you can describe it. And later on, when you are a little sober, you look at the whole description and you ask yourself, who wants to get into so much trouble? This is not a description of my passion or desire. This is the description of a hell waiting for me. Who wants to get into all this? Similarly, there are major obstacles blocking our natural expression. Basic free expression of gratitude, of simplicity, innocence, love. Sprightly energy. We sit over these things because all of them make us a little vulnerable, so we don't express. You act mature and people won't mess with you. You act childlike, and there are so many who assume they have the license to fiddle with you. So what do? You hide your innocence. You try to show that you're clever. Being honest is about seeing what is unnecessary, and equally it is about seeing what is necessary and hence must not be blocked. The mistake that we commit is obviously twofold. That which is unnecessary comes into prominence, and that which is necessary remains unborn, unexpressed. So much remains unsaid, undone, unlived, unplayed. And rubbish keeps finding expression. There is nobody to block that. You know how it is, right? With fake coins or false notes, currency notes. If you have a fake currency note, what do? You have 10 notes, out of which one is fake. Obviously, if you are very law abiding, you would go to a bank and deposit it and do such things. But that is not the norm. Normally, if you have 10 notes, out of which one is fake, what do? Out of the 10, this is the one that you want to circulate immediately. You don't want to keep it with yourself. This is the one that will enter circulation. The other 9 can remain safely hidden, sleeping in your wallet. And this one will be the currency in fashion. Sooner or later, everybody would be found holding that particular note sometime or the other. At 2 p.m., that note is with Kamlesh. Rest assured, at 4 p.m., it would be with Devesh. Because Kamlesh is not a fool to keep it with himself for long. That's the thing with falseness. It enters circulation preferentially. Your best remains hidden because the best is safe. Even if it remains hidden, its value does not diminish. And all that which is so mean, unnecessary, and false about us, that hangs over us, dominates us, becomes our life. Even if it is just one note that is false, its circulation will be greater than the 9 genuine notes. That's such a thing to note. The circulation of one fake note will be more than that of 9 real notes combined. That's how it is with us. Our real nature is very powerful, like the 9 currency notes. But it is so safe that it remains secure even if not expressed. Do not express it for a million years. Still it would not be hurt, not be diminished. But the fake is always threatened. You never know when the fake note would be confiscated. Anybody can call out your bluff. You may even be arrested. So what do you want to do? You quickly want to, but it is not only you who wants to get rid of it. There are others also who want to get rid of it. And they want to get rid of their stuff by loading it upon you. So you may circulate the one fake note that you have, but you keep getting more of it from what does the law want you to do? The law says suffer loss of rupees 500. Don't act greedy. and go and deposit that note. And if you can remember where you got it from, reveal that information to the right authority so that the very source can be arrested.
How can be implemented in our practical life?
Don't get greedy. Be prepared to suffer a little loss. You feel jubilant, victorious, don't you, when you are able to buy something for a fake note. Have you seen? Remember the feeling? You know the note is fake, the other one does not. Doesn't matter who the other one is. He could be a poor grocer, a vegetable vendor. Obviously, you don't hand over an entire bundle. It's one note that you want to circulate, so it's 500 or 2000 or something. So you give it to the poor vegetable vendor. And he returns you the change and the vegetables and your home. Avoid the victorious feeling. There is nothing in it. There is just nothing in it. Victory gained by using the false with you is worse than defeat. Not only in moral or ideal terms, but in very, very practical terms. It's just that it is not immediately visible what you are losing. So you feel triumphant. I did it. It's almost like getting something for free, no? 2,000 worth of goods free. Similarly, when you display a fake face or fake smile or fake affection or fake knowledge and get something in return, you celebrate. I got something in return for nothing. Something for nothing. That's obviously a good deal. That's how it appears. It is not. Why is it not a good deal? Because every time you win with the fake, the real recedes further behind. If the fake, the false itself is of use, what will you do with the real? So the real withdraws. It retreats one step every time you patronize the false. Every time you celebrate the false. If you are satisfied with the false, what use does the real have for you? While you are celebrating what you have received, you will not see what you have lost. The lost is silently withdrawing. The what you have earned is tangible. And not only is it tangible, your entire focus is upon what you have just earned. So you will be very oblivious to what you have lost. What you have lost is anyway a very silent entity. It does not like to clamor or shout or call for attention. It will just keep withdrawing. going away silently. That's the loss. The tragic part is the gain is apparent, visible. Experiential. The loss is invisible, intangible. So your assessment of profit or loss will be totally wrong. The loss is so visible, the gain is so visible that you will want to repeat the gain. The gain is so visible, so attractive that you will want to repeat the gain. And the loss is so silent that you won't mind losing again and again. Because you anyway do not know what you have lost. If you do not know what you have lost, how does it matter if you lose 10 times again? You are anyway not accounting for the loss, are you? You are anyway not registering or experiencing the loss, are you? So the loss may keep happening. You are blissfully unaware. That's how we lead our lives. Celebrating false gains and blind to real losses. The real is not ostentatious. When the real sees that you are rejoicing in the company of the false, the real says good luck to you and goodbye for the while. If you are so happy being what you are, why do you need the truth? Sleeping with the Saturn, what will you do with the truth? God would be such an unwelcome interference when your soulmate is the Saturn. So God says, please enjoy your privacy. You anyway have a D&D hanging on the door. Do not disturb. And God is quite polite. When you are frolicking with the Saturn, He will not disturb you. That is why you see so many happy people in the world. God does not disturb them. He says, make merry, till you can. Don't you see happiness abound? Everybody is happy. Somebody was so happy he started shooting. Happiness got out of control. It started getting expression from the nozzle of a gun. and the great shopping malls, your temples of happiness, and the weddings. It was so difficult getting a simple kurta. Recently I had gone shopping for kurtas, and most of them had Sajan Ji Ghar Aaye written on them. The salesman was almost annoyed with me. I mean, why do you want an unhappy kurta like this one? Why can't you have something that is golden, red? As bright as a tungsten coil. Have you seen? A bright, hot tungsten coil. Something as bright as that. So I apologized for my poor taste and got something. The real always has gravity, depth. The real is rarely vociferous, talkative, verbose. It prefers the depth of silence. It's like a real lover. When he sees the beloved, caught in various attractions, he won't impose himself. He would very gently want to nudge, very subtly want to guide. But chances are that in your phase of intoxication, you will have no value for the gentle and the subtle. So his gentle nudges and silent hints will not be experienced or taken by you. He will gently point, and you are too occupied with your loud and colorful dreams. You won't even notice what the real is trying to softly tell you. So the real stays silent. It stays silent because, as we said, it is very, very secure. It knows that it cannot lose you. So it allows you to go astray. That's why we say Maya is the daughter of Brahma. God Himself allows you to be lost because God is confident that you cannot be lost. He allows you to be lost in honor of your wish. Because you wish to get lost, because you wish to wander, so I'm honoring your wish. The gentle is also quite respectful. Though he is the only and supreme authority, yet he is not authoritarian. He respects your wishes. If you jump from this edge, no palm of God would intercept your trajectory and come to hold you safely. Your wish would be honored. If you jump off, your wish is honored. It's just that at some point or the other, the landing would happen. You may enjoy the flight as long as it lasts. But the landing is bound to happen. And the longer is the flight, the harder is the landing. The longer is your period of happiness, the louder is the thud with which you land. God won't intervene. God respects your wish. This is what you wanted, son. How are you feeling? Well, you always were the one for feelings. Now, how are you feeling? There would always be opportunities for visible gains. In life, always. And in this camp, be a little smart. Gaining something, losing something. Be a clever trader. Be alert, be sensitive, so that you really know what you are gaining and what you are losing. Don't be penny wise, pound foolish. the loss of the pound won't show up for long. Sometimes till it's too late. So you'll keep feeling you have actually become richer by a few pennies. No, you haven't become richer by a few pennies. The loss is deeper, far, far deeper. That would also tell you how deceptive our focus or concentration or zone of attention is. Focus is always on a point. Concentration too is on a point, or at least in a direction. You are always looking at a particular zone when you are looking. And that excludes everything except that zone. So when you are looking at profit or loss, you are looking at profit or loss in that zone. Now you might be profiting in that zone, but the expanse of your being, the expanse of your existence is far, far bigger. Because you are concentrating exclusively, you fail to look at the rest of your own universe. And great losses might be happening there. But right now you are besotted, you are infatuated. You are looking only at one particular thing. And looking at that one particular thing, if you feel happy, you don't feel like looking at any other thing. You just don't fathom the depth of the loss. It's as if your eye is reduced to a little point and everything else is a blind spot. Except the one direction in which you are looking, you have blind spots towards everything else. You don't even register your losses.
Acharya ji, tell me one thing. Sometimes it happens like you don't know what to do exactly. What is right and what is wrong. And how we can identify.
In those moments, you are more conscious. Than the rest of your day. Most of the times you never are in doubt. Most of the times you know what to do. Only sometimes you are in doubt. Only sometimes does it become apparent to you that you do not know. If one is rushing blindly towards the edge of a cliff, certain that she is doing the right thing, then for her, confusion is a better state than certainty. It would be very auspicious if this one gets a little confused. She will lose her determination, her momentum. Maybe her confusion would then save her. Certainty can be life-threatening. Most of us are just too damn sure and confident. Many more people need to be much more confused than they are. Many more people need to develop doubts. We just don't have doubts. We are cocksure. Of course I'm doing the right thing. And that is why so many people complain after returning from me. We came to you to gain clarity, but we are returning with confusions. We were not so confused earlier, but after meeting you, everything is jumbled up. What appeared right now does not appear so right. What appeared extremely wrong does not appear so untouchable now. So be boldly confused. Be clearly confused. When asked to describe your situation, you must say, I am clearly confused. Then at least you will have clarity and honesty about one thing, that you are confused. Do you know what the word confusion means? Fusion means a melting together of two things. When the real and the unreal get intertwined and you cannot tell them apart, that is confusion. To not to know true from the false is confusion. Our ways are quite interesting. In my college days, there used to be a fellow with me. And once he was going for a date. It was a late night date, and those were not the days of the metro, so you had to rely on various kinds of public transport. So the entire day he kept dreaming about the night and got so excited that he fell asleep. For the late night show, he had been rehearsing the entire day. So exhausted. So anyway, he had announced to the entire hostel that such a monumental event is going to take place in the midnight. People were curious, and then he was kicked awake. And then he said, "Oh my God, it's so late." He rushed towards the bus stand. The last bus he had missed. He tried hiring an auto rickshaw. None were available. So he came back. We expected him to be disappointed and flaccid. Instead, he was cheerful. He was asked, "Why?" He said, "You see, I anyway had the celebrations in the daytime. Now I have saved the fare as well." The auto fare has been saved. And yes, it's true. 20 or 30 rupees, as was the fare those days, had been saved. But he didn't know what he had missed out on. He was feeling happy, thinking that the imaginary can compensate for the real. He had the imaginary. And he had stuffed himself so much up with the imaginary that even the loss of the real wasn't a botheration beyond a point. It actually happened. It is actually happening every day. I'm not cooking it up. The entire day he had been fantasizing, locked in his room. So now that the nightly rendezvous had been missed, he was acting as if he was not very disappointed. And of course, he had saved the fare. We were just students. Auto fare up to the Paharganj hotel was significant. So I remembered that incident very recently. That same fellow was to come to one of our camps. That girl, by the way, had reached the hotel that night. And now is his wife. So he had to come to this camp, and he was quite determined, quite certain. And on the night of departure, he refused. Don't remember whether I got a call from him or a message from him. It's been many years now. But he was like, wifey doesn't want me to go. So I said, fine. I didn't say it's fine, of course. I abused him, but so after the camp he met me. I thought he had come to apologize or repent. But he was as happy as he was after missing the auto. He was just as cheerful. I asked him, you missed the camp and you're coming to me. You broke your promise. He said, I got good food and good sex that day. Hmm? 20 years back, he was happy that he had saved the auto fare. And 20 years later, he was happy that by missing the camp, he got a special dinner and some good sex. It actually happened. And the same girl. Wifey didn't want me to go. I said, all right, I won't go. But then let's have a go. So we had a go at each other. Do you ever know what you have lost? Hmm? Man has an infinite capacity for self-deception. After everything that gratifies you, after every episode of exciting happiness, ask yourself, so happy that you saved the auto fare? Who needs the real when the imaginary is available through fantasy? And every time you will turn your face away from the truth, rest assured, you will get some good food and some good sex. Maya has a large heart. She rewards. She rewards those who turn away from the truth. Being with her is not sufficient. Even Kabir is with Maya. But like a master. You will get lot of rewards if you can turn your face away from the truth. Not a bad deal. Whenever you find people involved in gossip or rubbish or inattention, just go to them and whisper, Saf. What does Saf mean? Saved auto fare? Hi, Saf. Would you like sitting on furniture that appears glossy but has been eaten out by termite? Hmm? The gain is always on the surface. The loss is within. Your heart is eaten out. Your skin shines and your heart is eaten out. What happens to those who rely on such chairs? Their backsides get certified. Hips don't lie. Their hips will tell you we come from the monkeys. You must have hourly contests, SAF of the hour, SAF of the day, SAF of the event.
Acharyaji, you were mentioning before, like a few minutes ago, saying that if we focus and concentrate on one, we'll be missing the other parts. So what if the focus and concentration is on the truth or
Oh, that is the whole.
Oh, that's the...
That is anyway the whole.
It's not like a
No,
thought or anything, again...
Keep asking, keep asking. You see, this is how
Yeah.
wordplay can happen.
Yeah, again
please.
it might be, oh, that's a
Yes,
thought
yes.
again.
Keep asking.
No,
Good
so
that you asked. Good that you
so
asked.
it's like that thought
Yes,
is
yes,
better
yes,
than
yes, 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 yes.
other ones.
Yes, yes. When you are focusing on the truth, you are anyway focusing on the whole. It's a limitation of language that the sentence has to be constructed this way. I am focusing on the truth. When you are actually focusing on the truth, you are not focusing at all.
Not at all.
It's a very relaxed state of mind.
Relaxed state of mind, but still like we'll be looking towards the...
You are not looking towards truth. You are looking from the truth. You can look anywhere.
Okay.
Truth is not in a particular direction. You cannot look towards the truth. You can look towards that mountain. Truth is the eye that looks at the mountain.
But like for us, according to us, like okay, we will be interested to pick up book on Kabir or interested to watch your sessions.
Truth is behind the eye that chooses.
But what we can do is only with this media, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So like whatever we could do towards that media, so that's not again anything distracting.
No, not at all. But then remember, what you call as we or me making a choice to go to Kabir is really not your choice. And you must also quickly drop this concept. Your choices do not take you to Kabir. If you find that you have been brought to Kabir, then just thank Kabir. If you find that you have been brought to Kabir, don't take the credit. You haven't really come to Kabir. You have been brought to Kabir by Kabir. So just thank Kabir. Coming to Kabir, thank Kabir. Coming to the truth, thank the truth. Don't try to appropriate credit.
Like these are all so subtle, like in the process, like sometimes you will not even understand too. Like
Yes.
when you're clarifying it.
Yes. You see, when you come to Kabir, does he say keep reading this particular book that contains my verses? He gives you an eye that would look at the entire world with clarity. That's the difference between the novice and the master. The beginner and the accomplished one. You must look towards Kabir, surely. But in the whole process, you must also get an eye that would look with clarity whatever it would look at. Doesn't matter what it is looking at, it is looking at that with clarity. You can't keep looking at Kabir. You have a life and you live the entire spectrum of it. Not at all times would you be carrying Kabir's verses. Not at all times you would be reciting his words. You are cooking in the kitchen, walking down the road, conversating with someone. If you are doing all of these with clarity, then it's Kabir at work. And that's what Kabir wants. Kabir is not saying keep looking towards me always. Kabir is saying whatever you look at it with clarity. And that clarity is another name for Kabir. Kabir looks at kings. Kabir looks at paupers. Kabir looks at the religious men. Kabir looks at the atheists. Kabir looks at the fighters. Kabir looks at the temples. Kabir looks at the mosques. Kabir looks at the married men. Kabir looks at the sannyasi. Is there anyone or anything that Kabir has not looked at? Is there any topic under the sun that Kabir has not spoken on? Kabir is looking at everything, everybody, as Kabir, with clarity. Kabir is not saying, I am looking only at Ram. Kabir is looking at everything. Had Kabir been today, he would talk of all that is happening in the world as Kabir. With Ram. He's not looking at Ram. Kabir is with Ram. So when Kabir is looking, it is actually Ram that is looking. The beginner looks at the deity. The beginner looks at the deity. Oh, my Lord, my Ram, my Krishna. The beginner feels that he is separate from the deity. The accomplished one stops looking at the deity so much. The deity is now within. The deity is now looking out through him. His eyes have become the medium through which the deity looks out. His eyes are now the eyes of the deity. Do you get the difference? So look at everything boldly, courageously, without any guilt. Dive into the world. Just be with Kabir. Keep Kabir with you. The entire world is yours. Keep truth with you. Keep Krishna with you. The entire world is yours. It's not as if you have to go and hide in a temple, in a Krishna temple or somewhere. It's not as if you have to bury your face in a Kabir book. The entire world is yours. Just stay with Kabir. Never be abandoned. Be with God and enjoy His world. Be with Papa and enjoy his riches. When you are with Daddy, his wallet is yours.
One more question here, Acharyaji. You were mentioning be with Kabir and then look at the world. So is it like a process like to go to Kabir, or I am with Kabir right now, so I am going to
Both.
dwell?
Both. Depending on who you are. The one that you really are is not only with Kabir but is Kabir. But the one that you live as will have to incrementally move towards Kabir. As the true self, you are Kabir. As the conditioned mind, you will have to give yourself up incrementally, gradually. How fast the process will be depends on the intensity of your longing. If you are really passionate, if you are really sincere, the process of your own dissolution can be very short. The time taken can be greatly reduced. But if yours is a lukewarm desire, a negotiable intent, then you will take years and decades and centuries. And even then only a little movement would happen.
So, Acharyaji, in this process, you said yearning and going, right? So, until not confident, but until is it okay, like if we can not exactly restrict, but like certain areas we think we are distractive, okay, like
Yes,
avoid
yes,
that.
yes, yes. It is not only advisable, it is necessary.
Necessary, okay.
It is necessary.
Okay.
Very well asked.
It's necessary, like to until like the hibernation thing. Like
Obviously, yes.
Okay.
Use your freedom
Yeah.
to restrict your freedom.
Okay. To really safeguard ourselves. Until
Obviously. Because you have unlimited freedom in an inner sense, it is very dangerous. Use that unlimited freedom principally to set boundaries on your freedom. Willingly surrender yourself. Use your freedom to surrender your freedom.
Thanks a lot, Acharyaji. This is so subtle, like while putting into practice, like with no guidance, it will be just like again lost and coming back to square one.
Yes.
So now it's the clarity.
I'm glad. These are the kind of nuances that delight a teacher. And they come out only when
In your presence.
only when actually in the disciple's presence. It has to be brought out from the teacher. You will have to put forward a nuanced question. General questions, theoretical, ideal, bookish, will only get very general answers. The question has to be very fine. And the question can be fine only when it is arising from your life, only when it is arising from your sincerity. You must have done your homework, and then when you come to the teacher, you know that your doubt is now fine. You have been through school, right? There is a question that the truant, mischievous one asks to the teacher. Does that question have any weight? Even if he wants to be sincere, he will ask a very superficial question. And then there is someone who has worked hard on himself for months, at least for a week, at least through the night. And then the next day he comes to the teacher, and his question has a certain depth because he has tried his best. The superficial doubts he has removed by himself. Now what is he left with? Only the deeper doubts, only the finer questions, only the more intricate queries. Now he is making good use of the teacher. Now he is utilizing the teacher's potential. When you ask a good question, you are utilizing the teacher's potential. Otherwise, you are just wasting the opportunity. You will now have these books with you. You can either dive deep into them and then come to me with questions that really matter, questions that are related to your life. Or you can come to me asking, what is the meaning of this title? You have all the freedom. You can have that book there. Listen, little man. And after being with that book for 2 days, you can come to me and say, how is the name of this author pronounced? That could be the depth of your query. Or you could ask me something more substantial. Depends on you, your freedom.